Hey there drone fans, Rick here again from Drone Valley. In today's clip, I'll explain how you can easily add an external microphone to your DJI smart controller to really improve the quality of the audio you're recording on the device when narrating your drone videos. Now before we get too deep into the fix, let me explain where this question came from. Because every week we get a ton of questions from you guys on a wide range of technical topics, and I love getting those questions because being a nerd, nothing delights me more than getting a question that I can answer quickly through an email or posting on YouTube, and you guys can get back to flying and we all get smarter together. So please send us those questions. And most of them are pretty easy and I can answer them pretty quickly. But every now and then one will come through and it'll be what I call a head scratcher, where it just takes a little bit more work, and it's kind of an oddball question where I'm thinking, I never thought of that before, but yeah, that's a great idea. I wonder how we can figure that out. And this is one of those questions. So it came from a longtime subscriber of the channel, a gentleman named Larry R. from the beautiful state of California. And Larry flies a Mavic 2 Pro, I think it is, but he's got a smart controller and he loves going out to fly and narrating his videos. So he'll add audio, commentary, things about where he flew, what the weather was like, what location he was at, maybe what he was doing on vacation. We all do that. It's a great way to sort of put a quick clip together to send it to your family, and the audio's bundled in. Now, if you don't know how to do that, I've posted other clips on the channel that show you how to cache both video and audio locally on the controller, and that way you can blend in the audio with the video as you're flying, and it's a pretty cool thing to do. And search the channel. If you have questions, I'll put links up, but search the channel, you'll see how you can actually cache that. But the challenge is, if you're caching videos on the smart controller, it's using the internal microphone that's built into the product. And normally that works okay, but the problem is it's not consistent because it depends on how the controller's facing. So when you're flying, if you have the controller facing you at the right angle, you get pretty good audio. But it does pick up a lot of background noise. If you move the controller, the audio levels vary. You'll get some hum or feedback in there, and it really isn't a perfect solution. And I've noticed that before, so much so that I actually carry an external digital recorder that I blend the audio in later on. So I don't even do the caching anymore because of the microphone issues. And for me, that was just a quick fix. But Larry said, well, Rick, what the heck? I mean, I bought this controller. There has to be a way to add an external microphone to it. And I'm thinking, I'm like, you're right, Larry, there should be a way to do that. So again, the nerd in me kicked in and I'm like, I'm gonna figure this out. So I looked at the controller. There's really only two ways to connect things to the controller. You've got a full-size USB-A connection on the top and a full-size USB-C connection on the bottom. So right away I thought, all right, let me start with the USB-A connection. Pretty straightforward. There's probably an adapter somewhere in the market that I can purchase that'll turn the USB-A adapter into an audio input device, and I'll start there. So I bought about 12 different devices that all promise to plug into a USB-A connection and add a microphone to it. None of them worked. And my only conclusion around that is, because it's a custom build of Android that DJI put on this product, there's probably a ton of drivers missing, and one of them is probably the audio driver for the USB-A connection. So I thought, okay, forget that. Now I've got a USB-C connection on the bottom. There has to be some adapters that'll work with that. So I bought a ton of different adapters there, including ones that look very similar to the one that I actually got working. And these are kind of cool. It's got a USB-C connection on one end, and it has two ports on here that are both 3.5 millimeter. One is for a microphone in and one is for a headphone out. And I bought about 6 of those. Some were single units, some were dual units like that. They all worked kind of well. They didn't work great. So some of them had really low audio, which didn't really help. Others had really tinny audio. And it turns out that this isn't a straight through connection. So let me put that one aside because that was the bad one. This is the one that did work. These have an active circuitry inside here that's powered from the USB-C, so it's got a tiny little amplifier inside here in circuitry that load balances for the microphone. So you can use like a lavalier microphone like that, plug it in, and use a stereo microphone to actually send audio up through the USB-C. But the key is, the circuitry inside here really makes a difference. And when I started doing research on it, I found that there were a lot of companies that sold products that looked like this that didn't work like this. And this is a good example of it. So when I first got this one in, it kind of worked and I thought, well, that's kind of a solution. But the more I used it, I realized it was louder, but it still wasn't consistent. And it was awful tinny. It was really cutting down the highs and the lows of the audio quality. So I threw that aside. So what we ended up doing, which we do a lot of times, is we have an engineering team at the company here, and we spend time looking at products and figuring out ways to improve them. We got a hold of a couple of our manufacturers and said, look, we want to build a USB-C to both the 3.5 millimeter input for a mic and a 3.5 millimeter output for a headphone, and built this product. So this product is incredibly simple to use. You basically just plug the USB-C into the bottom of the smart controller, and then you can plug any microphone you want as long as it's a TRS connection. If you don't know what that is, it basically means on the tip of the microphone you're plugging in, you should see 3 rings. so it should be TRS 3 rings on the front end. If it's got 4 rings, you need to get an adapter, but this will handle a standard TRS. But once you plug this in, the audio quality is really, really much better, and it cuts down on the background noise. So I'm going to show you an example in a minute of what the internal microphone sounds like flying at about 150 feet, and then what it sounds like using this external adapter, and you're going to see a big difference there. So we spent time developing it, building it, ordering a bunch of them. So we've got them in stock now. They're Drone Valley products. We've got them up on the website. And I'm not trying to sell you a product, but I'm trying to say that if you watch this video and then go out and start buying a bunch of these things, you're probably going to spend a lot of money. You don't have to. It'd be easier just to go for the one that we've actually engineered to work with the smart controller. Now stay tuned and I'll give you both of those audio clips side by side. Then I'll come back with some conclusions at the end. But I have to thank Larry R for this question because, man, you got the blood pumping with this one. I spent a lot of time doing the research and the homework to get this thing working, and it works perfectly. So stay tuned and you'll hear the audio clips. In this first test, I'm using the internal microphone on the smart controller, and I'm holding it where I'd normally hold it when I fly. It's about a foot away from my face and right at hip level, just to give you an idea what the audio sounds like coming out of that microphone. In the second clip, I plugged in the smart controller audio adapter, and I'm using a lapel mic on my shirt about 2 buttons down, and I'm sure you can hear the difference in audio quality. It's a lot clearer, there's a lot less background noise, and it's a great improvement over the internal microphone. Okay, so it's pretty obvious that when you're using the external audio adapter, that the quality of the audio is better. And I didn't test it with a bunch of different microphones, but I imagine you could use maybe a microphone on a stand or a better quality lavalier microphone. The one I was using was really inexpensive. I think it was like 25 bucks on Amazon. So it's nothing special, but it did a really good job of improving the audio. And for me, when I record those cached videos, I like to record them, edit them really quickly, and then send them off to family and friends when I'm on vacation. And it just saves me all the headache and time of having to import the audio and import the video into a program and then render the two together. It's just a clean way to do it. So anyway, that's all I had for today. If you have any questions about the adapter itself or anything I've covered, please drop them in the comments below. I promise to get back to you as quickly as I can. And again, I love these questions, so keep sending them. I'll keep answering them. This product is built by Drone Valley, just like all our other Drone Valley products. Stand behind it just like we do with all other products, and it's relatively inexpensive comparatively to the stuff that's on the market. We try to keep the prices as low as possible, but because it's a custom product, we had to order a bunch of them, so it is a little bit more expensive than some of the ones you may find out there. But again, I tested a bunch that didn't work, so why would you spend your money on that? Just buy one that you know is going to work, and we'll stand behind it. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks an awful lot for watching, and more importantly, Larry, thank you for this question, because man, I dig this kind of stuff. So keep those questions coming. We'll keep answering them as best we can. Until next time, happy flying.